It's 5 p.m. on Tuesday, March the 10th, 2026, and I call this public hearing of the Kingsville Independent School District to order. We will have roll calls. Joe Mireles. Here. Brian Kufal. Here. Martin Chapa. Here. David Garcia. Here. Jacob Perez. Here. Yalma Salinas. Here. And Joseph Ruiz here. Let the record show that there is a quorum of board members present and that this meeting has been posted in accordance with Government Code Chapter 551, State of Texas Open Meetings Act. The Kingsville ISD Board of Trustees will conduct a public hearing to discuss the following: 24-25 Texas Academic Performance Report, or TAPER report. Dr. Welsh.
Which one was yours? It would be Taper. Jesus. What? Or is it this one right here? Oh, this one. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Good evening, President Ruiz, board members, Dr. Martinez, and community members. Thank you for being here and giving me the opportunity to discuss the TAPER report. Thank you. I'll be just covering the TAPER report. I do have my team with me. They're very important. And want to introduce, as you all know, Ms. Williams, Dr. Arnold, and Ms. Flowers will be covering the TAPER report and additional information for you this evening during the workshop. First, I'd like to draw your attention to slide 1. This slide explains what TAPER report includes. Oh, it's right here. The TAPER compiles a wide range of information about student performance across the district. Performance measures include results from the State of Texas Assessment of Academic Readiness, commonly known as STAR. And these results are broken down by the grade level, subject area, and student group. The report also includes additional indicators such as attendance, dropout rates, college and career readiness measures, participation in college admissions tests, financial transparency reports, and information related to disciplinary incidents. Together, these indicators provide a broad picture of how the district is performing both academically and operationally. TAPER report. Kingsville ISD received the TAPER report on December 18, 2025, and it has been available to the public on both the TA website and Kingsville ISD since that time. After tonight's hearing, the district will continue making the report available to the public as required by law, and we are fully within and compliant to the legal requirements for posting the TAPER as well as providing it to the public. The TAPER also includes financial transparency reports. These reports provide information about district revenues, expenditures, tax rates, and fund balances. They also include campus level expenditures data that shows how resources are allotted across different programs and functions. This information helps ensure transparency and accountability in how district resources are used to support student learning. Each year, the Texas Educational Agency assigns an accreditation status to every district in the state. These designations range from okay, there we go. Thank you. These designations range from accredited to accredited worn, accredited probation, or not accredited, revoked. For the 2024-2025 school year, Kingsville received an accreditation status of accredited 1. This designation indicates that the district remains accredited while also identifying areas that require improvement. This slide summarizes the district's accountability rating. For 2025, Kingsville ISD received an overall district accountability rating of an F. Campuses ratings were King High School, D, Gillette Middle School, F, Harold Elementary, D, Harvey Elementary, F, Perez Elementary, and F. The district also received a special education determination status of need substantial intervention. This slide explains the improvement plans required for campuses identified in the accountability system. 2 campuses implementing turnaround plans, also known as TAPs, are Perez and King High School. 3 campuses are implementing targeted improvement plans, also known as TIPS, Harold, Harvey, and Gillette Middle School. These plans are designed to address the root causes of academic performance challenges and improve instructional systems at the campus level. Our instructional focus. This slide highlights the district's instructional focus moving forward. The district is emphasizing stronger use of assessment and data analysis to guide instruction. The goal is not to only move students to the move beyond approaches level, but to increase the number of students in achieving mastery and master's levels, which demonstrate a strong mastery of grade level standards. So as we go through the rest of this presentation, my focus, while I do have approaches here, that is not our focus. Our focus is meets and masters. I will put it on there just for reference, but I'll primarily reference the meets and masters numbers. This slide breaks down the results by subject area. Reading performance declined significantly. This slide summarizes academic performance across all grades and subjects. The percentage of students performing at approaches, grade level, or above decreased slightly from 54 to 52%. And let me back up so I'm on the same page. I know you've seen this multiple times, but I do want to indicate that this is lagging data. So this is data from 2024, 2025, also 2023, 2024. So it's not current, okay? So going back to this, students performing at meets grade level decreased from 26 to 23%, and master's performance decreased from 7 to 6%. The results indicate that while many students are approaching grade level expectations, the district must continue working to increase mastery level standards. This slide breaks down the results by subject area. Reading performance declined slightly, as you can see. Math experienced a larger decline and remains a key focus area for the district. Science showed improvement with an increase at meets level. Social studies declined compared to the previous year. And these results help guide the district's instructional priorities moving forward. The next slide, slides 11 through 13, are going to be the elementary results. So these slides will present academic results at the elementary level. Grade 3, reading showed improvement at both the meets and master's level. Grade 4, reading also demonstrated growth. However, grade 5, reading and math declined compared to the previous year. And these results indicate the need for strong instructional support and alignment across the elementary grades. Yeah, this thing is falling behind. Thank you. Let's go to grade 6 next slide. Okay. Slides 14 through 16. These slides summarize middle school performance. Grade 6 reading and math showed modest improvement. However, grades 7 and 8 experienced declines in several subject areas across mathematics and science. These trends highlight the need for strong instructional alignment between elementary and middle school. Slide 17, this slide presents results from high school end of the year. Biology showed the strongest improvement with an increase in the percentage of students meeting the standard. However, English 1, English 2, algebra, and U.S. history showed declines compared to the previous year. This slide highlights student engagement indicators. The district's attendance rate improved to 90.4%, which represents an increase from the previous year. Chronic absenteeism also decreased slightly. However, the dropout rate increased slightly at both the middle and high school levels. And I wanted to kind of touch base a little bit. We really focus a lot on the dropout rate at the high school level. The state does look at some indicators of when students are moving from, it's primarily eighth grade, but when you look at the TAPER report, it will show seventh and eighth grade, but it primarily tracks that transition from eighth to ninth when students move, and you don't track them. Next. This slide, college, career, military readiness. This slide represents college, career, military readiness indicators. The percentage of graduates meeting readiness indicators increased to 80%, showing improvement compared to the previous year. However, TSI readiness declined in both English and math. The next two slides are career readiness and dual credit. This slide highlights progress in career readiness. Career military readiness increased slightly from 41.9% to 54.9%. So we saw a significant increase there. Industry-based certifications also increased, and dual credit participation improved across several subject areas. Student demographics. This slide provides context about the district student population. Kingsville Independent School District serves 2,529 students. Approximately 83.9% of students are economically disadvantaged, and 65.8% are identified as at risk. About 20.9% of students receive special education services. The next two slides are going to talk about student safety. The TAPER report also includes the number of types of incidents as well as a description of the district safety programs. Kingsville ISD is implemented. So these are numbers from that we code in our discipline incidents that we have to track. And I will call out the elephant in the room, the violations of the Student Code of Conduct, which there were 2,173 incidents. Understand that outside of what you see here, those could be anything from tardies, excessive or continued tardies, to class disruption. But there are something that we are addressing and focused on. So this slide shows what we do for prevention and abuse awareness. We use EduHero. We also use we have safety officers, which are trained guardians at each campus. Every campus has at least one. Middle school and high school have multiple. We use several reporting mechanisms for students and parents so that they can report any signs of bullying or violation of the Student Code of Conduct. And we have a district-wide threat assessment protocol that we use to monitor and evaluate threats of violence made by or to students. And in closing, the TAPER report glossary published by the Texas Education Agency provides definitions and explanations for each indicator included in the report. The resource is available on both the TEA website and Kingsville ISD website for anyone who would like more detailed information about the data. Any questions? No questions?
Board? So now we actually, we open up the floor to any public questions or comments. Please come forward to the podium if we have anyone in the public that would wish to ask any questions. No one?
President Ruiz, if I may address
Sure.
the board, just a point of clarification. Well, when it comes to the Tabor report, we did meet all the requirements as established by statute. We were required to ensure that we hold this public hearing within 90 days of the Tabor report being released, which happened on December 18th. And the holidays do not count against those 90 days. In addition to that, after this public hearing, we are required to post publicly the Tabor report within 2 weeks. And we have already posted the Tabor report since we received it on December 18th. So the public has access to this report in our website. And it's, again, if they want to go back several years, they can also go into the website for Kingsville ISD, or they can also go to the TEA website. And this is public information that anyone can access at any given time. But we are within the statute requirements for this compliance portion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Martinez.
I'm curious, the school district is doing this badly and you all can't figure out why? I mean, political correctness should not exist within the school district. Math scores are terrible. Reading is terrible. You've got over, what, 2,500 student code of conduct violations, and you all can't figure out what's going on? I mean, come on, this is silly. And it's been rated an F and poorly rated for several years. So I would suggest that y'all sit down and throw out the political correctness book and whatever other junk is going on through life and get down to brass tacks. These kids need to know how to read. They need to know how to write. They need to know how to add. They need to know how to tell time, which I bet you they can't do by a clock. You're not helping them by stealing their accomplishments by saying, we'll just pass them forward. You're not helping them by not making sure they actually can read. They're going to have to fill out job applications. They're going to have to learn how to sign a lease. They need to know how to write checks, how to pay bills, how to do basic living things that you all know how to do, but don't seem to want to pass on to the next generation because this whole, I'll just do it, it's easier. That's a true statement, but you're not teaching them anything. They're not learning anything. They're not going to be able to survive on their own. And then when that generation gets up and is up there, they're not going to know how to be this country. They're not going to know what true freedom means. They're not going to understand how we achieved that. They're not going to understand how the United States of America came to be and remains. If you keep taking their accomplishments from them, if you keep not showing them what they need to know, if you don't teach them how to think for themselves, instead of just saying, you need to know this and we're going to move you on to this next grade. No. Ask them to think. How do they want to live? How do they want this country to be? They're going to run this country one day and they're going to run it into the ground because they don't know what they're doing. And to have a school rating be an F, I've never even heard that before I moved here. I'm appalled. And I think you all should be too, but I don't think you're appalled enough. And I don't know what it's going to take to make you appalled enough to change, to make this a better situation. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board in the public regarding the Tabor report? All right, seeing no one, This public hearing is adjourned at 5:20 PM. It is 5:30 PM on Tuesday, March the 10th, 2026. I call this workshop and special meeting of the Kings Island Independent School District to order. We will have roll call. Joe Mireles. Here. Brian Kufal. Here. Martin Chapa. Here. David Garcia. Here. Delma Salinas.
Here.
Jacob Perez. Here. And Joseph Ruiz here. Let the record show that there is a quorum of board members present, that this meeting has been posted in accordance with Government Code, Chapter 551, State of Texas Open Meetings Act. We will move to a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
We now move on to item number 4, public participation. Do we have anyone who wishes to address the board?
Yes, sir. The first one is Rodolfo Ramos, his community in reference to procedures.
Mr. Ramos?
Hi.
Good evening. I am being overly friendly and waving a lot because apparently at 5'9", brown skin with some tattoos, like a large portion of our community, I am intimidating and scary. So I'm trying to be more friendly and talk softly. The Board of Trustees needs to place on the agenda the matter of public rights and safety. There are around 8 board policies, state laws, and constitutional laws, the Bill of Rights, that govern on how a board should deal with visitors in an open public meeting. It is obvious to everyone outside these walls that many staff, including guards, need to be re-educated on what they include. I advise you to have the superintendent create a checklist to educate staff and a checklist to be used to ensure that they are in compliance with and when an issue may arise, does arise, and did arise. Please add as well to the future agenda information pertinent to operating board meetings with your own policy of Robert's Rule of Order. Have any of you read the full manual and the most updated version? You should put that on your board goals and mission to read it, especially the president. Have a good day to the board members who blame parents for all their own problems, many of whom they created themselves. Thank you for not violating my rights again.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos. Who's next?
Myra Sandoval, HNT Procedures.
Ms. Sandoval.
I want to start off by asking that the district put on a grievance process and open records request process on the agenda for discussion in the next workshop. For months now, parents in the community have done exactly what this district tells us to do when there's a problem. We've sent the emails, we sat in the meetings, we filed the grievances, we submitted the public open records request, emails, meetings. We followed your process. We trusted your process. We were told there would be fair investigations and proper procedures, and then months go by and we're still sitting here asking the same questions. Where's our answers? Parents in the community have begged this district for help and accountability. Begged for someone to simply acknowledge what our children are experiencing. Instead, what many of us are experiencing is silence and delays. Is the grievance process designed to resolve problems or delay them until parents give up? Because for more families are standing, it feels like the latter. Meanwhile, students and parents have begun speaking publicly, not because it's fun, not because anyone enjoys putting their child's experiences out into the world, but because after emails and meetings go nowhere, parents eventually realize that the only thing left is the truth. And once the truth starts being shared, the entire community starts paying attention. Students from the past and present have begun coming forward and sharing their stories. Messages are coming in privately because some families are afraid to speak publicly, but make no mistake, their stories are still there and they still matter. But the board has already seen them, the district's already seen them, but now the community has seen them. So the question tonight is very simple, KISD. Can you hear us now? Do you see us? Are you actually listening to the parents and students sitting in the room? Or does this need to become even more public before anybody takes it seriously? We're watching concerns about students' well-being and safety sit unresolved. We are watching the grievance process stretch on far longer than it legally should. And we're watching the people who speak up being treated like they are the problem. State law and district policy outlines timelines for hearings and responses so parents can actually receive timely resolution when serious concerns are raised. Concerns raised last year shouldn't be sitting here unresolved this year later. A process that's supposed to give family answers should never feel like it exists simply to delay them. At the same time, we hear public statements suggesting that parent concerns somehow aren't the reason the district is struggling and F-rated. But here's the thought. When students start avoiding school, when parents start losing trust in the system, maybe the question shouldn't be, what are the parents doing wrong? Maybe the question should be, why are students feeling this way in the first place? Then there's the message sent to the community when people who speak publicly suddenly find themselves escorted out of meetings or restricted from district property. Whether people agree with someone or not, the optics of that moment were clear, and the community saw it. We all saw the video. People in this room saw it. People across the community saw it. When procedures that this district expects everyone else to follow are not followed during a public meeting, we notice. When Robert's Rules of Orders are not applied correctly during a meeting that is supposed to be governed by those rules, we notice. And when a situation escalates in a public meeting without the proper procedures being followed by the presiding officer, we notice that too. You cannot ask the public to respect rules and policies while visibly failing to follow them yourselves. Once that trust is broken, people stop believing that the system's fair. You send a message that night, a message that speaking up might come with consequences. And when that message spreads, families stop coming forward, not because the problems disappear, but because people become afraid to talk about them. Now tonight, the board's considering reducing our time from 5 to 3 minutes. Think about it. We come here asking to be heard, and the response is to shorten our voice. At every meeting, the district says it wants parent collaboration, but collaboration doesn't happen when parents feel like they're being managed instead of heard. When parents start noticing the patterns of delayed responses, unresolved concerns, certain issues not being addressed, people start asking bigger questions. Accountability, leadership, questions about how many chances does someone get before the concerns involve our children? Because when families start having to keep their own records, screenshots, and timelines to be heard, the system's clearly broken. When a district fails to address these problems early, the consequences eventually get bigger, sometimes reputational, sometimes financial. And sometimes, as taxpayers have already seen, the consequences come with a price tag, a very expensive one. When parents start having to do their own investigations, that should concern every person sitting on the board. Parents shouldn't have to fight this hard. So tonight I'll end with this. Parents aren't speaking up because we enjoy conflict. We're speaking up because we've watched our children come home discouraged, embarrassed, and defeated. And we refuse to pretend that that's normal. We have followed your process. We have asked respectfully. We have waited patiently. But we're no longer willing to sit quietly while the elected system protects itself instead of protecting our students. The community is watching, the parents are watching, and the students are watching too. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sandoval. Do we have anyone who wishes to address the board?
Yes, sir. Monica Esquivel, HM in reference to procedure.
Ms. Esquivel.
Hi, good evening. My speech is going to be short, but change doesn't happen when people stay quiet. It happens when people speak up for what is right. History proves to us, like leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and countless others who have refused and accepted the injustice. Silence never fixes problems, accountability does. And with that being stated, I found it very offensive last month when a board member, an elected board member, spoke and stated that it was the problem of the parents. There are parents who want to be involved. There are parents who have gone to the school and tried to make adjustments and talk to teachers and talk to parents and to talk to administration, but we're shut out. We can't go to pep rallies. Senior parents aren't invited to have lunch. I encourage you guys to go right down the road to Ricardo, Texas, and take a look at what they do. I have a child there, and it is so transparent. I get notifications when the bus is running late. I get notifications when the internet's out. Every Sunday, I receive an email letting me know what's going on. I get charts and graphs of things that I don't even know what they're about, but I get them and I read them and I pay attention. I feel as though there are parents in KISD who do want to be here and do want to be around their students. But when you're met with shut doors and when you're met with going and making countless phone calls and sending emails that don't even get a response like, I got it, thank you, received, nothing. Or they end up in the trash box, I'm sure. What I would like for this district to do is to challenge themselves, to find innovative ways for how to bring parents around. We did a fundraiser for prom. Our prom has no money, but I will tell you that about 10, 15 parents and students came out to support that. And we raised money for our prom. And that should speak volumes, because there were parents who do show up at different times when you invite them and when you're open and friendly. When you shut us out, then we don't come. And when you minimize our voices like this, from going from 5 minutes to 3 minutes, that is not good. Or when you give us a false sense of security, and I walk outside after getting up here and publicly speaking, this is not easy. And then I'm met with intimidation by a board member's spouse. And I haven't even gotten an apology for that. There was no video cameras. There was no security. Where were my officers? When I asked for that record, you know what I was told? Oh, it's motion censored. And on top of that, there is no video. The only video that's around is the one of a car. Where was that video? And then I find out the video was overridden because you guys have a policy that every 30 days you overwrite things. Why? That shouldn't be when I had a grievance process going and an open records. I request open records. I don't get them. I get them delayed on the 10th day. And then you guys forget to redact things. So you do the very thing that I was making a grievance about. You do the same thing. I send emails unanswered. The public knows, the public sees. You want change? Start within your board. Stop giving yourself extra time. Remember that you are elected officials, and also remember the people that you serve. Your ex-superintendent just put a 2-part expose. I challenge you to read that. The community in which you serve is a pauper community. It is not that, and those who do have the means are going to leave. So I leave you with that. I hope that you guys want change and that you are striving for change and that you stop trying to intimidate us parents from speaking up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Esquivel. Do we have anyone else who wishes to address the board?
We have one more, Pat Trailer. She's a grandparent in reference to the RIT criteria.
Ms. Trailer.
Hi, just really quick, I don't have a planned speech or anything, but I noticed that on here it talked about that you're going to talk about the RIF program tonight and understanding what the teachers have to go through to be rehired. They have to, I don't know, there was a whole list of things that they have to be interviewed and, you know, they have to be rehired for next year, right? So anyway, I just kind of wondered if maybe we could include, there's a lot of teachers that we really like. A lot of parents have said, you know, hey, I really like my teacher. I'd hate for them to be you know, not able to come back next year. And so we were talking, I thought, oh gosh, I wonder if there's a component where we could write letters of recommendations to about our principal, about maybe teachers that we like. I don't know whether that's a policy thing or whether that's something that might be included in the packet that the teachers have that they could, like their resumes, or I don't know. I just wanted to kind of drop that little seed, and maybe we could think about it and talk about it when it comes to section, you know, down here on this section. Because I feel kind of funny, you know, piggybacking on all the parent things, but there's some good stuff going on. And, you know, those good teachers, you know, I don't know, maybe the kudos that it could help. So anyway, that was my little 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We now move on to Item 5, Kingsville ISD Board of Trustees will conduct a board workshop to discuss the following. Item 5A, the 2026-2027 instructional calendars. Ms. Tanya Williams.
My apologies. We'll have technology go ahead and open the presentation for us. As that is happening, good evening, Board President Ruiz, Superintendent Dr. Martinez, board members, and community members. What we will be doing today is giving an update on the current status of our proposed instructional calendars for the 2026-2027 school year. So the purpose of bringing this to the workshop today is to provide the update, share how the board, DEIC, and stakeholder feedback inform the work, and to update the board and the community on the current survey results. So as we are aware, the district was notified that our DOI status is being revoked effective July of 2026. Due to our DOI status being revoked, our instructional calendars had to go back to DEIC because we have to start our school year on the 4th Monday of August. So next year that does fall on August 24th. These proposed changes were taken to DEIC for review and discussion. We drafted 3 instructional calendars. We created a district-wide survey that was not only sent to our teachers and our students and staff, but also to the community. It is posted on our district website, and you are able to still submit results. The survey will close on March 23rd, so it still is currently open. Final survey results will then be brought to the board on our March 24th board meeting. Our current survey results, we currently have 139 responses to our current survey. Option 2 is currently in the lead with 119 responses, or 85.6% of our survey results indicating option 2. Our side-by-side comparison of the different options that we have are listed here. Option 2, the one that is currently in the lead, does have 130 days prior to STAR. Option 1 has 132 and option 3, 135. All calendars are starting on the same date, bringing teachers back on August the 17th, bringing students back on August the 24th. All 3 options also have 6 teacher work days and 6 professional development days. Option 1 has students ending June 4th and teachers ending June 7th. Option 2 has students ending June 8th and teachers ending June 9th. And option 3 has students ending June 1st and teachers ending June 2nd. For Thanksgiving break, option 1 has 3 days, option 2, 5 days, and option 3, 3 days. Option 1 does have Martin Luther King Day being observed. So does option 2. Option 3 does not. For Stock Show, option 1 has 2 days. Option 2 as well has 2 days. Option 3 has no days. All 3 options are observing Good Friday. And then within all 3 of these calendars, we incorporated 7 Saturdays that are being coded as additional days, school year days, or ATSI days. And that is in order for us to try to recapture some of that lost time with our students, since we are having to have a later start date. So we have 7 Saturdays embedded in between all 3 options prior to STAR. We also have our ATSI summer start days, all starting on June 14th and all ending on July 24th. With the ATSI summer, the district is required to have 25 consecutive days in the summer for ATSI. The next following slides are images of the calendars. If it is too small on the PowerPoint, we did provide you with some copies if you would like to take a look at those as well. So our next steps for our calendar is we will continue to collect and analyze the survey results. We will then come back to the board on March 24th and provide our final recommendation on our instructional calendar for the 2026-2027 school year. Do I have any questions? Yes, sir.
Who's able to participate in the survey? Are students, parents, staff?
Yes, sir. It was sent to students, parents, staff, community members. It is posted on our district website, and anybody is able to respond to that survey.
I have another quick question. On the side-by-side, the student and teacher end dates for option 1, option 2, and option 3, there's like 7 days. Is it because in option 2, there are more holidays in that option than option 3?
That is correct. Because there is a longer Thanksgiving break, things of that nature, it does push back that end date. Yes, sir. Any further questions?
Also like to note that these calendars reflect the change from 167 days, instructional days, to 175. That means teachers will be in front of kids 175 days instead of 167. Their contract will not be changed. They will still work the same number of days, but they will be in front of kids more than they used to.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. We now move on to item 5B, the turnaround plans. Actually, 5B and C will be together. Turnaround plans or TAP plans for AD Harvey Elementary School and Harrell Elementary School and John S. Gillette Middle School. Ms. Jennifer Flowers. And then item 5C will be a target improvement plan for J.R. Pettis Elementary School and H.M. King High School. Will also be Ms. Flowers.
Good evening, Board, President Ruiz, board members, Superintendent Martinez, and our staff and community members. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight, the CNI team, myself, Dr. Welch, Ms. Jennifer Flowers, Dr. Hilda Arnold, and Ms. Tanya Williams will present the TIP/turnaround plans for you. Slide 1. Thank you. I don't have the clicker, so forgive me when I keep fumbling with this thing. So Ms. Flowers will click it for me. Tonight we will present an overview of the Targeted Improvement Plan, also known as TIP, as well as the Turnaround Plan, known as TAP, currently being implemented in Kingsville Independent School District. These plans are required by TEA, Texas Educational Agency, that fall for campus for schools that fall below the accountability expectations. These plans outline the district's strategy for improving instructional systems, strengthening leadership capacity, and increasing student academic outcomes. This slide provides a high-level overview of the state of the district and the context in which our improvement work is occurring. Kingsville ISD has experienced several years of academic challenges that have resulted in campuses being identified for the state intervention improvement plans. The district response is to build a stronger instructional system, strengthen leadership capacity, and align resources to support improved student outcomes. This slide of the district shows the accountability rating over several years in campuses. The chart illustrates how campuses have moved between different accountability categories during this period. The data highlights the need for focused improvement efforts across the district, particularly in core academic subjects such as reading and mathematics. Thank you. So on this slide, you'll also see which campuses are TIP and which ones are TAP. As you can see, GMS, Gillette and Harvey GMS, Harold, and Harvey are TAP turnaround campuses, and HM King and Perez are TIP. GMS and Harvey are our F3 campuses, meaning they've been F for 3 consecutive years.
We are committed to strengthening student success by focusing on 8 key priorities that guide our work across the district. Together, these priorities ensure that KISD creates a well-supported, high-performing system that prepares every student for success beyond graduation. There are 3 school improvement labels. The first one being additional targeted support, a designation assigned to campuses where the performance of one or more student groups falls below the comprehensive support and improvement cut point. Number 2, schools previously identified for comprehensive support and improvement are monitored for progress toward improvement goals. As they demonstrate sustained growth, TEA will update their status to comprehensive progress. Number 3, Title I Part A campuses performing in the lowest 5% statewide, as well as the campuses that remain in targeted support and improvement status for 3 consecutive years are identified for comprehensive support and improvement. Multi-year unacceptable campuses must submit a turnaround plan, while first-year unacceptable campuses must submit a targeted improvement plan. Both focus on improving student outcomes and monitored for implementation 2 years for TAP and 1 year for TIP. And as Dr. Welch mentioned in the previous slide, our TAP campuses include Harold, Harvey, and Gillette, and our TIP campuses include King and FedEx.
This is the timeline for the turnaround plan. We submitted our initial turnaround plan by November 21st, 2025. We did receive feedback from TEA in January, and we have revised what was asked of us to provide additional specificity. And then our plan is to submit by March 24th. And then we will get some final information from TEA. The TAP plan is the TAP timeline is a little bit different than TIP. As I'm sure you remember, you did approve the TAP when we first submitted. That was a requirement from TEA. The TIP just needs to be approved once in the spring. So this is our first time bringing this to you. Our TIP and our TAP are aligned with the Effective Schools Framework, which is a framework TEA uses. It's a proven framework of how schools improve and what schools are doing across Texas in order to become better. Our district-wide analysis showed 3 areas of need: increased student academic outcomes, increased leadership and instructional capacity, and strengthened fiscal responsibility. And Dr. Welch will go through these 3 in a little more detail.
There we go. Thank you. This slide focuses on academic improvement. Student performance data indicates the need to improve achievement and growth across all content areas, particularly reading and mathematics. Classroom observations and learning walks show that while engagement strategies are improving, consistent implementation of high-quality Tier 1 instruction remains a key area of focus. Improving Tier 1 instruction ensures that the majority of students receive strong instruction before interventions become necessary. Another major focus area is building leadership and instructional capacity. Many teachers and instructional leaders in the district are in their first 5 years of experience. As a result, the district is focusing on strengthening professional learning communities, coaching cycles, and lesson internalization to improve instructional quality. By building teacher and leadership capacity, the district is creating systems that improve instruction across every classroom. The third district focus area is fiscal responsibility. The district is prioritizing the alignment of local, state, federal funds to support instructional improvement. This includes the strategic use of Title I, LASSO grants, and other funding sources to support staffing, instructional materials, and professional learning. The goal is to ensure that every dollar invested supports measurable improvements in student learning.
So an overview of our elementary plan, just a point of clarification. So the TIP plan and the TAP plan are two separate plans. TIP is for 1 year, 25-26, and TAP is for 25-26 and 26-27. Now, as I know that you know, our school improvement plan impacts all 5 of our campuses. So in this slide, I have combined our plan. We are doing the same supports and instructional focuses across all of our elementary schools, regardless of whether a TAP is required or a TIP is required. As Dr. Arnold mentioned, our support labels are listed here for each of our 3 elementary campuses. The priority levers, that goes back to our effective schools framework. And then our key actions, next year we're going to be modifying that, implementing a modified ACE program for our elementary campuses, our district-wide elementary realignment, ensuring that our pre-K through 2nd teachers feel supported and together and have time to collaborate. Same with our 3 through 5. Implementing that additional day school year, as Ms. Williams just mentioned in the previous presentation, and then our intensive curriculum and instruction support. So we all have a campus that we support every single day. We are there next to the principals in classrooms, and we're really doing some good work in our classrooms. As part of our intensive curriculum instruction improvements, for 26-27, we are going to be implementing the Bluebonnet K through 5 RLA. That's going to have a foundational skills component for K through 3, which we're very excited about. I think that's going to help our students a lot. A lot of our plan is just ensuring that we are providing the tools and the time for our teachers to implement this program effectively. So some of the things that we're doing, we're looking at master schedules to ensure that we can provide PLC time for our core level teachers every day within the school day. We are ensuring that we meet the recommended minutes for these programs, which we already do. So those are things that we are doing currently, but we are going to continue to do so. Our continued use of Bluebonnet K through 5 math, and then again with our redesigned master schedule, ensuring that we are giving the teachers everything that they need to be effective in the classroom. Our additional day school year, we have that grant that's going to provide some funding so that we can implement this with fidelity. We're going to add those 25 days in the summer of 2027, and we're going to have 7 days on Saturday throughout the 26-27 school year in order to recapture some of those kiddos. At the secondary level, again, so Gillette is required to submit a TAP, that's that 2-year plan, and HM King is required to submit a TIP, which is that 1-year plan. Our support is not changing. So we are there day in, day out. Our main focus is going to be that intensive curriculum and instruction improvement. So we've worked on calibrated learning walks. We've implemented PLCs every single day for our tested subject teachers at HM King and Gillette. So they have that opportunity to internalize lessons, lesson rehearsal, student work analysis, things of that nature. And they're able to do that every single day for those tested subject teachers.
Our milestones for the 2025-2026 school year were anchored on building strong instructional systems. The district strengthened instruction by implementing high-quality instructional materials, providing ongoing professional development on lesson internalization, rigor, student engagement, and establishing structured PLC protocols, including daily PLCs at the secondary level. Instructional support was reinforced through frequent classroom walkthroughs, coaching cycles, and multiple assessment cycles to monitor student progress. Additionally, elementary consolidation planning and the launch of state-funded improvement grants support increased instructional capacity and improved student outcomes. These instructional systems are being measured using multiple data points. Our milestones for the 2026-2027 school year are focused on strengthening implementation and measuring impact. The district will restructure elementary campuses to strengthen instructional focus, implement daily PLCs with a district-wide protocol, and continue the use of Bluebonnet Math while launching Bluebonnet RLA. Data dashboards and structured data cycles will be introduced to monitor student performance alongside strengthened support for special populations and allied professional development and instructional monitoring to tip priorities. The strengthening implementation and measuring impact will be measured through multiple data points. The Kingsville ISD improvement cycle connects classroom instruction, leadership monitoring, PLC collaboration, and student data. This ensures that instructional adjustments are made quickly to improve student outcomes.
Improvement progress will be monitored through the classroom walkthroughs, PLC, artifact reviews, coaching cycles, and multiple assessment checkpoints throughout the year. District leadership will review progress regularly and adjust strategies based on student performance data. By May 2027, success will include strong instructional systems, consistent use of high-quality curriculum materials, effective PLC collaborations, and instructional coaching embedded across campuses. Teachers will consistently deliver rigorous instruction aligned to grade level standards. Any questions?
Yes. I think it's safe to say that this has been somewhat of a transitional year. We've had a new administration coming in. There have been some changes made, some readjustments, and an awful lot of monitoring going on. And so I think it's safe to say that we aren't expecting any miracles in this year's STAR test. I think it's also safe to say that change many times, results from change many times takes a while. You can't turn an F district around to an A district in a year. You can't. Maybe you can, but it's somewhat unrealistic. We are taking some drastic, progressive, needed measures in next year's school year. One of them being moving the curriculum in reading to the Bluebonnet curriculum. Obviously, that takes a transition period also. And I understand the consistent monitoring. How do we prevent next year from being it will be transitional. We have a potential rift coming through. We've got some aggressive changes being made to some of the ways that things have been done and necessary changes. But how do we prevent that from being simply a transitional year and seeing that student achievement really does improve?
Really good question, and thank you for the question. There's a couple things, well, several things that we're looking at. Next year for us is not a transitional year, but an implementation year, and where we're going 100 miles an hour. And we're doing that right now as we speak. We've come in with the coaching in the moment. We've come in with internalizing, helping support our instructional leaders with internalizing lessons and understanding how to really teach at grade level and also increasing the rigor. We've already started working with our campus leadership, increasing their instructional capacity so that they can continue to coach our teachers. As you know, this is why the team is here. We're on campuses every day, but what we're doing, and more so than just always being in the classrooms, is we're building the capacity of our instructional leaders to continue doing that when we're not there on the campus, because that's when it hits home. The other things that we're doing as we move forward, again, thanks to the grants that we've received, we will be implementing the modified ACE which is really looking at effective levels of teachers. So we're working toward bringing top tier instruction into the classroom. This summer we'll have learning academies, so that with that new curriculum, the first time teachers see it will not be in August when they show up. We're bringing our teachers in early. We're going to sit down with them. We're going to work through all of those lessons, help them understand how to really use those resources, because the high quality instructional material that we've selected through Bluebonnet has so many resources. It's really more so a matter of teachers not having to go out on their own, because again, I'll use a personal story. When I taught way back when, you got the keys, the grade book, and the textbook, and said, good luck. What we're doing now with this high quality instructional material is it has everything in line for our teachers. And so what our teachers will be able to do now, Ms. Flowers spoke about using student work analysis. They'll be able to really focus on what their students need and be able to pull those resources from this high quality instructional material. And then in conjunction with the coaching that they're receiving to build their instructional capacity to make sure that they're always delivering high quality instruction every day, we feel that the teachers will be ready. And so it will not be a transition year, but a full implementation year for us to look at and expect high results.
Thank you for that. One follow-up. Could you drill down a little deeper on and put it in somewhat layman's terms for a non-educator, what the term building the capacity of instructional leaders means?
Yes, sir. So when we talk about building the instructional capacity of building the instructional capacity for leaders, what we're really talking about is helping leaders, as instructional leaders and also campus leadership, understand how to use high quality, use instructional strategies that really focus on our students continuously be engaged in thinking, speaking, student discourse, to really be able to elevate instruction and be able to also anticipate misconceptions and already have planned on how to teach those misconceptions. And when we do a really good job at building that capacity, we avoid those misconceptions because we plan for them in advance, and we're able to maximize student mastery levels because we're able to fluidly engage students back and forth with the curriculum and have them continue to push at a high level rigor and make sure that we're always staying at least the grade level or higher with their rigor. I don't know, did I answer your question?
Thank you very much.
Sir, if I would like to add to that, to what Dr. Welch stated in terms of building the instructional capacity for school leaders. No doubt, the teacher in the classroom is the number one factor in improving student outcomes, right? So we know we have to invest heavily in building the capacity of the teachers to be able to determine if this is what I have to teach today, right? This is the guidance, these are the T's, right? Texas Education, Knowledge, and Skills. This is what I have to teach today. Knowing my students, where they are, academically speaking, what gaps do they have? How many students I have that may have learning challenges or other challenges, whether there might be linguistic, right, etc. Students that are chronic, in terms of absences and things of that nature. I know my students have to teach her. So if I have to teach this, how do I ensure as the leader in a campus that I am going into that classroom, understanding what that teacher had to put together, which I don't know as a leader, because only the teacher knows the students in front of them, right? But how do I support that teacher, that teacher is quick to implement strategies and pivot during the instructional process so that the needs of the students are met? So campus leaders have to be able to walk into a classroom and know what they have to support and how they have to coach the teacher so that the teacher can be the one continuously making those instructional decisions that are in the best interest of students. When we talk about building capacity for leaders, we're not saying they are there to teach the lesson. They're there to grow the teachers so the teachers continue to be the masters of that classroom environment and making the decisions, because They themselves are the ones who know the students better. But we know also, and research says that without strong leaders in the schools, instructional capacity cannot be developed at the max. And so we have to make sure that we focus on developing leaders. So we coach the principals and say, hey, these are some of the strategies that we believe, if they're implemented with fidelity, they can add value to what you are doing in the classroom. And the campus leaders will then have to go and support that. Leaders will also be looking at data with intentionality with the teachers, looking where the students are, how many failed an assessment that they gave, how many are moving along, how many are staying behind, and helping support what decisions need to be made so that the students can advance forward. The teacher knows what are the things I can do. So it's essential that we have strong teachers in the classroom, but we also have strong leaders that are supporting that. And our job in the district office is to ensure that this machinery works in synergy, right? And that is aligned with the priorities that we had set forth. One of the things that I strongly believe in is the power of professional learning communities. And that is that dedicated time during the instructional day that teachers have to collaborate, to take a lesson and say, this is what I have to teach. How can I teach this better? How would you teach it? What ideas would you do? I have 3 students that have a reading disability, for example. I have 2 students that are that have limited proficiency in the language. I have 2 students that are absent a lot and have tremendous gaps, or they read at 3rd grade level and we're a 5th grade, things of that nature. So teachers collaborate and they discuss strategies and they help one another make those informed instructional decisions that are going to benefit the students. So part of the grants that we are receiving will allow us to have at the elementary levels one period of professional learning communities every day. So teachers don't have to stay after school. They don't have to juggle different things to be able to collaborate with one another. And this period is in addition to their own conference period, which is by law is required, right? And so we were hoping, and I know as a fact that PLCs done right, with intentionality, with structure, will yield the fantastic results that we're seeking to achieve. But they have to be done with fidelity. And so part of the grant is going to allow us to bring a provider that will help support the PLCs as well. So we are internally supporting the process, but we're also bringing people from the outside that understand what are our priorities and goals, etc. And they're going to come and supplement and support that. So we will be working together on it. That the grant provides for us to select a provider. And we already went through the process of asking several providers to do a presentation to us to see how they can support it. And so we're waiting for TA some details to select that provider. Once we select it, we will present it to you and tell you a little bit about how they're going to be supporting the campuses. But the power of PLCs is going to be absolutely fantastic. But you also asked something that is very near and dear to our hearts now, that we're changing curriculum, right? Because one thing is how I teach, that's the instructional part of it. And teachers get to decide that. The other part is the what to teach, and that is the curriculum. The curriculum is determined by the state of Texas based on the Texas Knowledge and Essential Skills, right? Texas Essentials Knowledge and Skills, I got it backwards. The TEKS. And so we are, as Dr. Welch mentioned, offering learning academies during the summer. And because we have to start so late in August, we can do this in August, right? Which pretty much is the normal time where teachers would have been in school. And we are also able to pay them extra to come in and participate in that work. The other thing that we're doing, and we're in the process of reviewing our teachers' data, is ensuring that We handpick teachers that are very, very strong, instructionally speaking, to teach English and math. So I only have to prepare for English and math. I don't have 2 or 3 or 4 different lessons to prepare for the rest of the day. My focus is English, my focus is math, and those teachers are going to be compensated in addition to their salary because they're going to carry the load, right? And we're going to be supporting them more strategically because they have those areas. We want our kids to be able to read. We want our kids to be able to perform mathematics, calculation, etc. So we get them ready for the world. And so in layman's terms, that's what we're doing.
I think that sounds very, very promising and very much in a roundabout way, student focused and definitely honing in on student achievement. And I think it emphasizes and supports the decision to take and consolidate the grades at campuses. It seems like that's going to make it so much easier to gain consistency and be able to provide that level of instruction consistently throughout the district, one campus, rather than having them spread out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yes, so I just had a comment. There were some people who spoke earlier today, and I think it's frustrating that they don't think that we know that we're in F school and we're not doing enough. I mean, we're very aware of what's going on. You know, and one of the things we did about this, we hired this person here. We're behind her 100%, and everybody else that she hired. So to say that we're just not, I don't even know how to put it into words, but we're aware that this is an issue. You know, we're working together. We want this school to succeed. We want the school district to succeed. We are in it with y'all. And we have the right person in place. I know you probably don't want to hear that, and I know everybody's upset, and I understand that. But we've started. It's going to take a little while. We thought maybe we could do it sooner, but it's a lot of work. But I can assure anybody listening or anybody watching online, we're aware of the situation. We have hired Dr. Luz Martinez, and she is doing her best along with all her team. And we're with you.
Chapa, I agree with you 100%. Next thing.
Anyone else?
I just want to, just piggyback off what he said. And we're in it. We're backing you up 100% to do what we have to do to support you in order to move forward. There's some growing pains and it hurts a little bit, but the last few years, as we've stated, it's shown have not been good here. So it's going to be a big job, but it's going to get done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
We now move on to item number 6. The Kingsville ISD Board of Trustees will now conduct a special meeting. The time is 6:24 p.m. We move on to item 6A, communication from administration, Superintendent Dr. Luz Martinez.
Good evening, board members, board president, and members of the staff and the public. Lots of things are happening in the district, so my comments today are not necessarily an update, but a plea for everyone to understand, as the board members have stated, that we know where we are, and we are taking this work seriously. I don't want anyone to be confused about our result. We understand where we are. We understand that the lift is heavy. We didn't get here in 1 year and 2 years. This is a long time in the making. However, as I have stated repeatedly when I go to the campuses and talk to the staff, this is not the students' fault. This is not because we have students that do this or have that, or don't have this or don't have that. This is not the students' fault. At the end of the day, we, the professionals, we, the educators, have to embrace the challenge and realize what do we have to do differently to reach the students that we have in front of us, because they deserve the best education we can provide. We are not going to blame anyone, but we're certainly not going to say it's the student's fault. And I stand firm on that. Again, as professional educators who have been through various degrees, certifications, all of us, we have to figure out how to reach the students in front of us. And so moving forward, change is difficult, and change takes courage and determination and grit. And we all have to understand that there might be, as you all said, growing pains, but we're going to pull through. And Kingsville ISD deserves to be an A district. There is no reason why Kingsville ISD needs to be where it is. So we know that it's a long haul, but those who choose to stay in the district and work towards the strategies, goals that we are putting in place and that we're trying to achieve, they will understand what it takes. Not for the faint of heart, because all our schools are school improvement, every single one of them. So we can't say we're going to focus on one school and not on the others. We have to spread thin across 5 or 4 schools. But we can do this. We really can. This is what we as a community are going to step forward and say, do we have what it takes to turn the district around? And yes, we're going to make mistakes. And yes, sometimes things are not going to go right. I am not a miracle worker. I appreciate people who think that I can do this, and I certainly can, but it's going to take all of us, and I keep saying this. It takes all of us. And so my plea today is for everyone to understand that this board and this superintendent and this team understand the sense of urgency. I don't want anyone to be confused about that. We do understand where we are, and we're committed to getting there. Sometimes it feels like baby steps, and sometimes we're going to take great leaps and move forward. Whatever it is, I am confident that if we work together, we can make this work. Thank you.
And then Trustee Chapa present this next section.
Well, good evening, everyone. The KSD Education Foundation is proud to award 4 grants tonight. And representing the KSD Education Foundation is myself, Trustee Chapa, Ms. Delma Salinas. Come on up, Delma. And we have our president, Ms. Evanita Ramos. As you know, the KSD Education Foundation is dedicated to raising money and giving back to students in KSD. For example, Dr. Martinez is also a member. We have also other members as well. Ex officio members. You want to stand? You all come on over here, please. Max.
Johnny.
Johnny was former.
Jacob.
No, former.
Oh, former.
Yes. Okay. Well, we are proud to award these 4 grants, and I'm going to go ahead and name the recipients. I don't know if they're here, but they're worth mentioning.
Or the principals would stand?
Or the principals of the campus, yes. Delilah Ramirez of Harrell Elementary. She's receiving $467.82. From Harvey Elementary, Stelvia Rodriguez Ozuna. She's awarded $876.98. From H.M. King High School, Ms. Aide Amaya. $1,870. And H.M. King High School recipient is Ms. Katie Polhemus. $1,950.87. These grants celebrate the creativity and dedication of our teachers as they implement innovative ideas and enrich classroom instruction and elevate student learning. Congratulations to all the recipients.
And I'll always take a few minutes to talk about the Kingsville ISD Education Foundation, and because there's so many new faces here. The foundation has 3 basic goals. 1, support students, support staff, and involve community. So through our student involvement, one of the things that we do is scholarships. We provide high school seniors some scholarships. We've presented from $23,000 to $10,000, depending on the applications. We also provide school supplies to them. Supporting our staff, part of it is the grants. We presented up to 10, 15, 20,000, depending on how much funds we raise during the year. We have a golf tournament coming up in April, so any of you golfers, come golf. It's Swing for Scholarships. All that funding there goes to our high school seniors. Community involvement. Part of it is increasing community involvement, and we've done that through our, we started a Hall of Fame. We have a welcome back homecoming tailgate, which we've had great responses. And I just want to say, and then the tone, there is a lot of support. We're here to support our students, our staff, our administrators, doing a great job. There's some great teachers, these innovative teachers that are funding these innovative, applied for these grants for funding for their classrooms. They have to do it by the end of the year. So there's awesome things happening in your classrooms, and you have some awesome teachers, and you have some awesome parents that are also wanted to be involved. And we have great support. I'm out in the community and I hear, let teachers know you're doing, we're here for you. Because again, it's Kingsville ISD, and how Kingsville ISD goes, our community goes too. So again, I love your plans. Keep up the good work. Hang in there. It's a tough job, and we do appreciate what you're doing. So thanks you again, and thank you for, I'll get off my soapbox. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And now we'll have Dr. Martinez talk about the 25-26 accreditation status for Kingsville ISD.
Good evening again. As part of the requirements by the Texas Education Agency, we have to disclose this information at a public meeting and post it in the agenda. You have previously presented this information as superintendent's update when we received it originally, but we are required to provide this as a board item. So this is why we're bringing this back regarding the accreditation for the district. I'll just stand here. Thank you.
All right. So as you know, the Texas Education Agency awards districts with a specific status, and the accreditation has 4 levels. The first one, which is the one that we all aspire to have, is accredited. We have accredited warned, probation, and not accredited revoked. And so currently, our district is labeled as accredited warned. And this happens when the district has received 2 consecutive school years of academic accountability ratings of needs improvement or academically unacceptable, or F. This is the data for the district, which illustrates in the last 3 years where those ratings are coming from and why do we have this accountability accreditation status. As required by statute, and this had to be completed by March 13, we have to notify the parents of the students enrolled in the district. This is the letter that was sent back in February 13 as well. What a coincidence, February 13. This letter was sent to all the students. We also posted it on the website. And we also posted it on the newspaper, but it was not required to be posted. But we wanted to make sure that we took it a step ahead. We also have to send notification to TA that we have complied with all of these requirements, which we are in the process of doing or have already done it since the deadline is the 13th of the month. So as part of the accreditation warrant that Kingsville is rated right now, we are required to come up with solutions. What are we going to do about it, right? Because we have to go back to the accreditation status. And so you heard today the tip and the tap, which delineates the comprehensive plan that we are implementing currently and will continue to implement moving forward, center on high quality instruction and the use of high quality instructional materials, as well as providing ongoing leadership support, coaching, feedback, monitoring, etc., and establishing clear systems of accountability, support, data-driven decisions, etc., to improve our high-performance culture. And so that is the information that I have for the district accreditation. Now, needless to say, our status as accredited warned also gives TA the right to assign additional sanctions to the district. We haven't received any information on any potential sanctions that they will assign to us to support us to get us back into the accredited status. Once we received information, if we do, I will certainly come back and inform the board and the members of the public as well, subject to your questions.
Questions from the board? Thank you, Dr. Martinez.
Thank you.
We now move on to item 6B, discussion and possible action regarding the turnaround of TAP plans for A.D. Harvey Elementary School, N.M. Harrell Elementary School, and John S. Gillette Middle School.
Good evening. Administration recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the turnaround plans for resubmission for A.D. Harvey Elementary, N.M. Harrell Elementary School, and John S. Gillette Middle School as presented. Submission is due to the Texas Education Agency by March 24th, 2026.
Is there a motion to accept the recommendation from administration? Motion made by Delma Salinas. Second. Second by Jacob Bettis. By roll call vote, Joe Mireles.
Yes.
Brian Tufo.
Yes.
Martin Chapa.
Yes.
David Garcia.
Yes.
Jacob Bettis.
Yes.
Delma Salinas.
Yes.
And Joseph Reese, yes. Motion carries 7-0. We now move on to item 6C. Discussion possible action regarding the Targeted Improvement Plan or TIP for J.R. Pettis Elementary School and H.M. King High School. Ms. Flowers.
The administration recommends that the Board of Trustees approve the targeted improvement plan for J.R. Pettis Elementary and H.M. King High School as presented. Submission is due to the Texas Education Agency by March 24th, 2026.
We have a motion to accept administration's recommendation. Motion made by Delma Salinas.
Second.
Second by Joe Mireles. By roll call vote, Joe Mireles.
Yes.
Brian Kufal.
Yes.
Martin Chapa.
Yes.
David Garcia.
Yes.
Jacob Bettis.
Yes.
Delma Salinas.
Yes.
And Joseph Ruiz, yes. Motion carries 7-0. We now move on to item 6D, discussion and possible action regarding the second reading of BED local board meetings, public participation. Ms. Ada Nava.
Good evening, Mr. Reese and Superintendent Ramirez and board members. Administration is bringing the second reading of BED local, which includes revision to public participation, changes to local policy offered for consideration, address the topics of public participation under procedures. And the recommendation is that the Board of Trustees considers taking action to add or revise or delete BED local policy as discussed, this serving as a second reading. And that is that we are recommending that the public speaking not to exceed 3 minutes versus the current 5 minutes.
Is there a motion to accept the administration's recommendation to move from 5 minute participation to 3 minutes?
So moved.
Motion made by Joe Mireles.
Second.
Second by Jacob Bettis. By roll call vote, Joe Mireles.
Yes.
Brian Kufal.
No.
Martin Chapa.
No.
David Garcia.
Yes.
Jacob Bettis.
Yes.
Delma Salinas.
Yes.
And Joseph Reese, no. So motion carries 4-3. We now move on to item 6E, discussion and possible action regarding the third reading of DEC local leaves and absences. Ms. Nava.
This is the third reading of DEC local, which includes revisions to leaves and absences, changes to the policy offered for consideration, address the following topics, leaves and absences. Administration recommends that the Board of Trustees add, revise, or delete DEC local policy as recommended by administration. This serving as the third reading, and those changes are under page 3. The employee shall submit a written request for discretionary use of state personal leave to the immediate supervisor or designee in advance in accordance with administrative regulations. In deciding whether to approve or deny state personal leave, the supervisor or designee shall not seek or consider the reason for which an employee requests to use leave. The supervisor or designee shall, however, consider the effect of the employee's absence on the educational program. An example, the day before a school holiday, the day after a school holiday, days scheduled for end of semester or end of year exams, days scheduled for state mandated assessments or professional or staff development days, or district operations, as well as the availability of substitutes. Also, under duration of leave, we would like to recommend that the days should not exceed 5 consecutive. Instead, it should be 3 consecutive.
So do we have a motion to accept the third reading of the DC local leaves and absences.
I have a quick question before that. On the duration of leave, remember, if I'm remembering correctly, the last time this was presented, we had said 2 consecutive days. Are we changing that? You're all changing it to 3 now instead of the 2?
Yes, in conducting some research with local school districts, we wanted to be similar to what was around us, and they all have 3, and so that's why we made that change, sir.
Any more discussion? So do we have a motion to accept the recommendation from administration?
So moved.
Motion made by Jake Perez, second by Delma Salinas. By roll call vote, Joe Mireles,
Yes.
Brian Kufal,
Yes.
Martin Chapa,
Yes.
David Garcia,
Yes.
Jacob Perez,
Yes.
Delma Salinas,
Yes.
and Joseph Reese, yes. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Recommendation from our council due to personnel matters of item 6F and G. If there is no objection from the board, I would request that we move to closed session. Do we have any objection? Okay, we now move on to item number 7, enter into closed session. The board will enter into closed session in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.074 to deliberate and consider the following. The reduction in force due to program change and to adopt the related criteria and implementation plan for the 26-27 school year. Also, the administrator one-time hiring stipend, and also consultation with legal counsel regarding legal and personnel matters. No action will be taken until we return to open session. We are entering into closed session at 6:47 p.m. So we now return to open session and take necessary action on matters which the board may discuss in open session and upon which action may be taken. We are returning to open session at 7:59 p.m. Okay. So, item 6F, discussion of possible action to approve a reduction in force due to program change and to adopt related criteria and implementation plan for the 2026-2027 school year. DFFB, Dr. Luz Martinez.
Good evening, board members again and members of the public. I'm going to run through the school board reduction in force presentation that we have previously presented with very slight modifications for your consideration and approval. The first thing to say is, as we all know, change is urgent and necessary in Kingsville ISD. So we are focused on doing exactly that. As I always said, it will take all of us, everyone working together to ensure that we address our challenges and opportunities in the budget area and the academics area as well. As discussed, we have seen no meaningful improvement in student achievement or growth in our schools. We have 2 schools that have been F for 3 consecutive years, and the district has received F ratings for the last 3 years as well. This might trigger a TEA monitoring takeover, as we have previously discussed. Chronic absenteeism is pretty high, currently at 32.7%, which is triggered after students have been absent 18 or more times. And we budgeted for about 94% in attendance for first semester, and we only achieved 92.0%. MS, we are experiencing the same things other districts. We have decline in enrollment of approximately 579 students from 2022 till present. So we have challenges, right? And the data shows a compelling need for transformation, and we know that the urgency is needed. We are awaiting response from TEA in terms of assigning a monitor or conservator to oversee school improvement actions. And if we don't improve by the end of year 2026-27, and specifically at Harvey or Gillette, we might see some action taken by TEA to include removal of the elected board and the superintendent and other sanctions. For that reason, we have developed a pretty comprehensive transformation plan that includes, as you have already approved, the consolidation of the 3 elementary schools into 2 elementary schools by grade band. So Clayburgh Elementary School will absorb all the students from Perez, Harold, and Harvey in grades pre-K, kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. Likewise, Harvey will revert to grades 3, 4, and 5th. So all the students in the district will go to one of these 2 elementary schools. For this purpose, we are requesting that the board considers the approval of the reduction in force that it's due to program change. And who's impacted by this? It will be all elementary teachers and staff, as well as all elementary administrators, to include principals and assistant principals. They have to meet certain criteria, so administrators have received this information and will continue to observe these guidelines in the RIF process, as well as the teachers. We will ensure that we follow the RIF program change guidelines, and I want to go over that in a moment. But before that, we have developed a timeline, and we have shared this timeline with the employees so that they understand what process or step is going to be followed every single time. So they're informed. Our goal is to ensure that we issue contracts before May 5th. And non-renewals will continue to be brought to the board's attention as these decisions are made. In this effort, and due to the RIF, we want to build a system of great elementary school through the Accelerated Campus Excellence Initiative. It's a plan that even though we did not get the grant approved, we're still moving forward with implementing the ACE modified plan, which includes strategic staffing, where we have highly effective administrators and teachers, provide instructional excellence to include high quality instruction with high quality instructional materials and a high performance culture, and provide social emotional supports for the students with extended learning. That's why we are proposing in the next board meeting that you consider approving a calendar that includes 175 instructional days with some additional school days included in the summer. And at the end of the day, we need our parents, our community to partner with us to make this happen. So that is part of the plan. Step one is the comprehensive review of all data, which has been conducted January, February, and through the month of March, where we consider the RIF policy to include qualifications, performance, extra duties, professional background, and seniority as stated in DFFP logo. With that, we're defining the performance in these categories. We conducted that review considering the T-test and other data, current principal recommendation, certification status, attendance for the teacher, and then most importantly, student achievement and growth data in different assessments that are provided to our students, years of service, campus-specific needs, and the ACE program structure. So with that, we determine the effectiveness levels for the teachers. We're also doing the same with the campus administrators at the elementary level. Step two is between March 11 and March 13, employees are going to receive official notification letting them know if they are invited to interview, which will be the next step in the process. They're not invited to interview or do not qualify to interview, and this is all based on the FFP local. If they're invited to interview, they are going to be asked to move to step 3, which I will explain in a minute. If they are not invited to interview because they don't meet the criteria that we have set in alignment with DFBB local, we will let them know that we are proposing their non-renewal. And if they do not qualify to interview, it's because they might be a DOI or they don't meet certain recommendations in the process. Step 3, as I said, includes the employee completing a questionnaire in PowerSchool between March 11th and 24th, where they will indicate a number of things. However, failure to submit the questionnaire will let us know that the employee does not intend to return to the district, but we will take an extra step and ensure that we reach out to the employees to make sure there was no glitches in the system or they forgot or they got busy. So we will double check to ensure that they are required to complete this and provide name, address, contact information, employee ID, and add any additional information. We're also giving employees, teachers, the opportunity to indicate the preferred grade level, teaching subject content area in the campus they want to work on. However, we made the clarification that when we make decisions on assignments and grade levels and campuses, we will do what's in the best interest of students and in accordance with policy. Step 4 and 5 are going to happen concurrently, where we will have interviews between March 23rd and April 24th, as well as instructional observations. The interviews are going to be conducted by 2 separate teams, and the that includes administrators at the school level and the district level. It's a 30-minute interview where we're looking at the will and skill and their alignment with the school priorities and district priorities. The observations are going to last up to 15 minutes. They're going to be scheduled during a 1-week period, so teachers will not know exactly when we're coming, but they will have a 1-week window where they know we are coming. And we will be using the instructional walkthrough that teachers are familiar with and that have seen that we have been using all year round. The purpose of the observation is really to assess that instructional practices and the overall classroom effectiveness based on our priorities and the strategies that we're implementing. And the observation teams, again, will be conducted by campus and district level administrators. Step 6 is we're going to look at the totality of the data, and we're going to make decisions in terms of if we are recommending to the board for renewal or we are recommending for non-renewal. Step 7 is the board approval of contracts, and then step 8 will be the issuing of contracts. These dates are flexible because as we are for sure understanding that the employees will be asked to return, they will be offered the contract. So it's up to May 5th. Again, certified employees have rights, and so if they are recommended for non-renewal, they have the right to appeal, and so they have been advised to contact Human Resources for guidance and support, and then, of course, we will ask them to follow the statutory timelines, which is 15 days after they have received notification of the non-renewal, they have to petition for that hearing regarding the proposed non-renewal. We continue to encourage employees to complete the school improvement survey that we shared with them. This survey is really essential to continue to ask questions, express concerns about the reduction in force, the consolidation of the campuses. Am I moving? Where am I moving? Where am I packing? Etc. Right? So again, we developed a presentation over at the 3 elementary schools on the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 9 yesterday at the 3 schools where we gave them the information in detail. This is how many people have completed the survey so far. So we continue to encourage them. This is when we did the employees orientations at the different campuses. And again, this is the timeline that we will be following. At the end of the day, our students are the priority, and we are committed to systemic and transformational change. And it's already happening this year. So we're not waiting for next year. We are having it even this year as we speak, because we recognize that the need for change is urgent and necessary. And that is my presentation.
So after hearing the presentation, once again, Dr. Martinez, do I have a motion to accept or to approve the reduction in force due to program change and adopt the related criteria and implementation plan for the 2026-2027 school year?
So moved.
Motion made by Martin Chapa,
Second.
second made by Brian Kufal. By roll call vote, Joe Mireles.
Yes.
Brian Kufal.
Yes.
Martin Chapa.
Yes.
David
I'd
Garcia.
like to share something first, Mr. President, before I vote. I had this pop up on my daily reading that I received last week, and it's by a motivational speaker by the name of Simon Sinek. And he said this, and I want to tell the staff and Dr. Martinez, because you mentioned something up there that made me think about this, that leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. And you're taking care of our kids. And we saw there mentioned that it was a systemic from the top failure. And I take responsibility as a board member. And we should have done better for our kids. Be the first one to stand up and say that. You're gonna get a lot of heat, which you have probably already. But you all need to know, each and every one of you all need to know that just like we have Dr. Martinez's back, we got your back as well. We will go to the ends for you all because we know what you all are doing. It's not easy. And we've hit the bottom, but we're gonna come back up. I trust God in that first. And I just want to let you all know is that I vote yes, let's move forward. Let's move forward with this. Keep your head up, you're still a brainer. We're here for you. And that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to leave that.
Thank you. Jacob Perez,
Yes.
Dama Salinas,
Yes.
and Joseph Reese, yes. Motion carries 7-0. Item 6G, discussion and possible action regarding administrators' one-time hiring stipends. Is there a motion to accept the recommendation by the administration?
So move.
Motion made by David Garcia,
I'll second.
second by Dama Salinas. I roll call vote, Joe Mireles.
Yes.
Brian Kufal.
Yes.
Martin Chapa.
Yes.
David Garcia.
Yes.
Jacob Perez.
No.
Dama Salinas.
Yes.
And Joseph Reese, yes. Motion carries 6-1. There be no further action, or any additional action need to be taken. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion made by Dama Salinas,
Second.
second by David. All those in favor say aye.
No.
Yeah. All right. So we are officially adjourned at 8:16 p.m.